What makes a sky duel feel real to someone who has actually lived with the roar of engines and the pressure of thin air pressing against a canopy? Some films aim for spectacle, but a rare few capture the feeling of being suspended between calm skies and sudden chaos. These are the movies pilots still talk about, the ones where the details are honest, the tension feels lived, and the sky itself becomes a character whispering a warning you might not notice at first. Number 15. Battle of Britain, 1969. Battle of Britain feels less like a movie and more like a memory pulled straight from someone who lived through those skies. Pilots admire it because everything on screen looks and moves the way real aircraft did in those days. The team gathered genuine Spitfires and Hurricanes, restored them with care, and sent them into the air with skilled flyers who knew how these machines behaved under pressure. Nothing about the footage feels staged. The wings tremble. The sunlight shifts. The horizon tilts at angles that only real flight can create. Director Guy Hamilton rejected flashy shortcuts. He filmed in open skies, letting natural wind and weather shape the scenes. This gave every moment a grounded look that viewers still recognize as honest. Behind the camera, the crew faced breakdowns, delays, and unpredictable conditions, but these challenges only added to the film's rough, authentic texture. Pilots later said the movie captured something rare, the rhythm of waiting, acting, and adjusting that defined real flight. It showed that the sky is never predictable, never calm for long. Battle of Britain endures because it respects the truth. Flying is beautiful, demanding, and shaped by decisions that matter more than the audience ever sees. Number 14. 12 O'Clock. High, 1949. 12 O'Clock High approaches sky stories from a different angle. Instead of pushing nonstop tension, it focuses on the emotional weight carried by flyers who faced long days, uncertain outcomes, and the steady pressure of responsibility. Pilots admire the film because it captures the quiet moments before a flight just as clearly as the ones in the air. The briefings, the hesitation, the deep breaths taken before stepping forward all feel real. Gregory Peck delivers a steady performance as a commander trying to guide a group that is physically and mentally exhausted. The movie blends acted scenes with real archival material, creating a tone that feels almost documentary-like. Pilots said the body language, the calm communication, and the small details in the cockpit were strikingly accurate. The filmmakers worked with people who lived through these events, shaping procedures, pacing, and atmosphere to reflect true experiences. Nothing is exaggerated. The tension builds slowly, the way real flyers described it. The result is a story about leadership, endurance, and the mental side of flight. 12 O'Clock High remains admired because it understands that bravery in the sky often begins long before the engines rise. It begins with the mind. Number 13. The Blue Max, 1966. The Blue Max places viewers in the fragile world of early aviation, where flight depended on fabric wings, wooden frames, and steady nerves. Pilots praise this movie because the aircraft behave exactly as early flyers described. They shake, they dip, they respond late to controls. Nothing looks effortless, and that truth gives the film its power. The story follows a driven young flyer hoping to rise quickly, but the sky constantly reminds him that ambition alone is not enough. Director John Guillermin used real restored aircraft and experienced flyers to create long natural shots of open fields, tight turns, and trembling wings. The wide-angle footage feels real because it is real. No digital tricks, no artificial smoothness. Production came with challenges. One close call in the air forced everyone to pause and rethink safety, highlighting how unpredictable these early machines were. Instead of hiding the difficulty, the film leans into it, showing how skill and caution shaped every moment. Pilots admire the Blue Max because it captures the emotional rhythm of early flight. Hope, tension, and uncertainty blend into each scene. It shows how the sky can inspire and intimidate at the same time, teaching humility with every rise. Number 12. Tora, 1970. Tora takes a steady, methodical approach to sky storytelling, which is one reason pilots respect it. Instead of rushing through big moments, the film builds tension through preparation, timing, and detailed planning. It shows how crews checked every part, studied conditions, and worked together long before takeoff. That focus on process feels true to real flyers who knew success depended on careful steps. Two film teams, one American and one Japanese, collaborated to present both perspectives with fairness. Real aircraft were used whenever possible, many of them modified to match historical designs. The takeoffs, long formations, and low-flying sequences were filmed in natural light, giving the scenes a raw, honest look. Behind the scenes, weather changes and large-scale coordination created challenges, but the filmmakers stayed committed to accuracy. The result is a film where the skies feel genuine, not stylized. Pilots admire how the movie treats the sky as a place where discipline matters just as much as skill. The story highlights how timing, teamwork, and awareness shape real flight. Tora stands out because it respects the truth that major events begin with small choices made carefully and carried out with steady hands. Number 11. Dark Blue World, 2001. Dark Blue World blends emotion with realism, creating a sky story that pilots often say feels incredibly true. The film follows flyers from Czechoslovakia who joined the Royal Air Force, showing their training, their friendships, and their steady rise into demanding skies. The flying scenes use restored aircraft paired with carefully matched archival footage, creating a seamless look that feels almost like a memory rather than a staged scene. The actors trained in cockpit movement and procedures so their motions would appear natural. Pilots noticed the authenticity in the way characters scanned the horizon, adjusted controls, and communicated with quick, subtle cues. Small details like these matter, and the film treats them with respect. Behind the scenes, the production faced challenges with budget and historical research. Even so, the team pushed to capture long, quiet shots of aircraft gliding across cold skies, reflecting the loneliness and beauty real flyers often described. The result is a film with emotional depth and careful realism. Pilots admire Dark Blue World because it shows flight as something that shapes people, not just challenges them. It highlights loyalty, discipline, and the bonds formed under pressure. It is not simply a sky movie, it is a tribute to memory and resilience. Number 10. The Hunters, 1958. The Hunters steps into the early jet age, a time when flight was fast, unpredictable, and demanding in ways pilots still remember clearly. The movie follows flyers navigating thin air, icy mountains, and machines that required absolute focus. Pilots admire it because the jets do not glide smoothly. They shake, pull, and respond with the sharpness real flyers described from that era. Nothing feels polished. Everything feels lived. Director Dick Powell worked closely with experienced flyers who shaped the pacing and behavior of each sky sequence. Real jets were used for major scenes, filmed with specialized camera rigs built to handle vibration and sudden movement. These choices gave the footage an honest texture that digital methods cannot match. Production challenges were constant. Heat affected equipment. Weather shifted quickly. The aircraft moved so fast that filming often required multiple attempts. Yet the team stayed committed to realism, letting the skies dictate the flow rather than forcing perfect conditions. Pilots later said the film captured the emotional rhythm of early jet flight. Moments of silence, moments of sudden pressure, moments where a single choice changed everything. The Hunter stands out because it treats fast flight not as spectacle, but as a test of steady nerves and clear thinking. Number 9. The Bridges at Toko-Ri, 1954. The Bridges at Toko-Ri carries a quiet strength that pilots still appreciate. The film follows a flyer balancing duty, responsibility, and the uncertainty of sky challenges that demand both skill and composure. Instead of rushing into dramatic moments, the story builds through calm preparation, studying maps, steadying nerves, and stepping toward aircraft with quiet determination. Pilots often say these small moments feel as real as the flying itself. The United States Navy supported the production with access to real carriers and real jets, allowing the filmmakers to capture long takeoffs, tight turns, and careful landings with authenticity. The sound of engines rising, the teamwork on deck, and the narrow space in the cockpit all reflect details flyers recognized immediately. Production faced a serious setback when one aircraft was lost, pausing filming and reminding the cast and crew of the real risks behind aviation. Instead of stepping back, the filmmakers chose to move forward with deeper respect for the story they were telling. Pilots admire the film because it focuses on discipline, teamwork, and emotional honesty. It treats the sky as both beautiful and demanding. The bridges at Toko-Ri endures because it understands that true courage often appears in quiet decisions made before the aircraft ever leaves the deck. Number 8. Memphis Belle, 1990. Memphis Belle places viewers inside the tight, echoing interior of a bomber where teamwork shapes every moment. Pilots admire the film because it shows flight not as a solo act, but as a shared effort where each person's steady actions influence the entire crew. The story follows a group nearing the end of their missions, working through tired bodies, tense moments, and the hope of finally returning home. Director Michael Caton-Jones insisted on using restored aircraft that behave the way real flyers described. When the plane shakes on screen, it is shaking in real life. When the cabin feels crowded, it is because the crew and cameras were actually squeezed into the space. This hands-on approach created footage that feels natural rather than staged. Filming inside these narrow compartments required patience. Camera operators dealt with bumps, angles, and constant vibration, but these challenges helped the film mirror real flight conditions. Pilots later praised the attention to detail, especially in how crew members communicated calmly even when the sky became unpredictable. Memphis Belle stands out because it shows more than flying. It shows trust, discipline, and quiet resilience. The film reminds viewers that sky journeys are not won by one person. They are carried by many working together. Number 7. Aces High, 1976. Aces High captures the emotional and physical strain of early aviation when aircraft were light, exposed, and sensitive to even small changes in the wind. Pilots admire the film because it presents these machines honestly. They wobble, dip, and demand constant attention. Nothing about the flying looks easy, which matches real accounts from flyers who trained in similar conditions. The story unfolds inside a unit dealing with worry, fatigue, and the steep learning curve of sky challenges. Director Jack Gold shaped the pacing around long waiting periods followed by sudden tension, mirroring what real flyers described as the true rhythm of early flight. The actors perform with a sense of pressure that feels grounded rather than dramatic. Real restored aircraft were used in many scenes. Their fragility required skilled pilots and careful planning. During production, one plane experienced an unexpected mechanical issue, forcing a careful landing and reminding everyone how unpredictable early machines could be. Pilots respect Aces High because it avoids exaggeration. It focuses on the quiet courage required to climb into the cockpit again and again. The film highlights how early flight relied on discipline, awareness, and the ability to stay calm even when the sky shifted without warning. Number 6. The Great Waldo Pepper, 1975. The Great Waldo Pepper steps away from traditional military settings and explores a different kind of sky challenge. Pilots admire it because it shows what happened after the major events of early aviation when skilled flyers looked for new purpose by performing daring stunts across open fields and county fairs. These scenes may not involve high-pressure missions, but they require a level of precision and nerve that real aviators instantly recognize. Robert Redford plays a former flyer who cannot let go of the sky. The film follows him through barnstorming shows, mid-air performances, and personal reflections on the meaning of flight. Director George Roy Hill insisted that the stunts be filmed as naturally as possible. Real restored aircraft were used for nearly every major sequence, flown by people who trained for months to ensure each move looked real and safe. One stunt nearly went wrong when part of a wing weakened under stress. It was caught in time, handled with care, and turned into a testament to the skill of the flight coordinators. Instead of pulling back, the filmmakers leaned further into authenticity, capturing long aerial shots that show just how exposed these flyers were. Pilots say the movie captures the emotional pull of flight better than almost any story. It shows that once someone feels the freedom of the sky, it becomes part of them. Not dramatic, not heroic, just honest. The great Waldo Pepper reminds viewers that flying is not only about danger or duty, sometimes it is about joy, memory, and the search for meaning. Number 5. Flyboys, 2006. Flyboys brings viewers into the world of early flight with a style that feels vivid, colorful, and surprisingly grounded for a modern film. Pilots admire it because the movie does something unusual. Even though it uses modern effects in some scenes, it still respects the physical realities of early aircraft. The biplanes look fragile, the controls require strength, and the sky behaves like a force that cannot be predicted with confidence. The story follows a group of young flyers in the Lafayette Escadrille, one of the earliest groups to take on sky missions long before advanced guidance systems existed. Director Tony Bill, who is a pilot himself, insisted on long sweeping shots that let the audience feel the speed, shake, and vulnerability of open cockpit flying. Real replicas were built to fly at controlled altitudes, creating a blend of digital and practical footage that feels more natural than many modern sky films. Behind the scenes, unpredictable weather caused delays and damaged several replica planes. Instead of replacing them with full digital models, the team rebuilt and repaired them, understanding that real aircraft added a texture no computer could replicate. Pilots later praised the attention to detail. The way the aircraft dips slightly and turns, the sideways slide caused by wind, the hand signals used because early cockpits did not have advanced communication systems. Flyboys stands out because it blends heart with authenticity. It shows how early flyers learned to trust their instincts, stay steady under pressure, and treat the sky with respect. It reminds viewers that bravery sometimes starts with simply choosing to rise into the air. Number 4. Angels, 1-5-1952. Angels 1-5 captures the early days of organized sky defense in a calm, grounded style that many pilots still appreciate. Instead of dramatic speeches or exaggerated tension, the movie focuses on the steady rhythm of real flyers, managing long days, quick decisions, and the constant pressure of being ready. The result is a story that feels personal, lived in, and surprisingly modern for its age. Director George Moore O'Farrell relied on genuine Royal Air Force bases and real aircraft, many of them handled by experienced crews who understood the nature of these machines. This choice gave the film a sense of authenticity that even viewers today can feel. The camera doesn't rush, it lingers on the small actions that shape sky journeys. A pilot wiping fog from goggles, a mechanic tightening a part with quiet concentration, a commander studying the horizon for the first sign of trouble. While many films chase excitement, Angels 1-5 chooses realism. Pilots admire how it captures the mental side of flight. The waiting, the brief moments of adrenaline, and the slow return to calm. The story acknowledges tiredness, teamwork, and the emotional weight placed on inexperienced flyers learning fast. The film's strength is its restraint. It does not try to impress with noise, it impresses with truth. Angels 1-5 remains respected because it understands what real flight feels like. Steady, demanding, and shaped by the people who refuse to give in to doubt. Number 3. Red Tails, 2012. Red Tails celebrates a group of flyers whose skill, focus, and discipline reshaped aviation history. Pilots admire the film because even with its modern style, it handles the flying sequences with respect for real challenges. The aircraft move with believable weight. The skies shift from calm blue to unpredictable turbulence, and the flyers rely on teamwork just as much as their machines. The movie follows the legendary group of flyers who trained harder, worked longer, and proved themselves again and again. Director Anthony Hemingway approached the project with a desire to balance modern energy with historical honesty. While digital effects were used for many scenes, they were carefully guided by aviation consultants who ensured the movement stayed grounded in real flight patterns. Even the cockpit behavior reflects true discipline: head turns, instrument checks, quick verbal cues exchanged between flyers. Pilots later said this attention to detail made the film stand out among modern sky stories. Behind the scenes, the team spent significant time studying real aircraft, real flight logs, and first-hand accounts to shape the tone of the movie. They wanted the audience to feel the emotional pressure of being judged, tested, and expected to perform flawlessly. Red Tails succeeds because it treats the flyers as more than symbols. It shows them as skilled individuals who earned respect through steady work and confidence in the air. Pilots admire that the film highlights precision rather than spectacle. It shows that mastery in the sky comes not from speed alone, but from awareness, discipline, and trust in your team. Number 2. Top Gun, 1986. Top Gun became a cultural phenomenon, but pilots admire it for something deeper than its style. They acknowledge that while some scenes are dramatized, the film captures the emotional truth of learning to handle fast jets. The pressure, the excitement, the need to make calm choices at high speed. It is a movie about growth in the sky as much as it is about action. Director Tony Scott worked closely with skilled flyers who provided guidance on flight behavior, cockpit mannerisms, and the rhythms of advanced jet flying. Real jets were used for major scenes filmed in natural light that gave the sky a golden glow. The result is footage that feels like a highlight reel from real training sessions rather than a stage production. Pilots often praise the movie's understanding of decision-making, the way a slight tilt of the wings changes everything, the importance of communication, the way confidence and humility must coexist for someone to thrive in fast-moving environments. Behind the scenes, filming was challenging. The jets moved so quickly that camera teams had to invent new techniques to keep up. Some shots required multiple attempts simply because the aircraft outran the original filming plan. Top Gun's legacy comes from more than its soundtrack or famous lines. For many young viewers, it became the film that sparked an interest in aviation. For real pilots, it remains a reminder of how demanding fast flight can be. It shows that skill in the sky is not about impressive moves. It is about mental clarity, quick thinking, and respect for the machine. Number 1. Top Gun Maverick, 2022. Top Gun Maverick surprised everyone by doing something few modern films attempt. It chose realism over convenience. Instead of relying on digital shortcuts, the filmmakers placed the cast inside real jets and captured footage that reflects the full physical intensity of fast flight. Pilots admire this deeply because the film respects every detail of their world. The story follows a flyer who returns to train a new generation, but the heart of the film lies in how it presents the sky. The pressure inside the cockpit, the weight of rising altitude, the sudden shifts that force flyers to stay sharp every second. Director Joseph Kosinski worked alongside skilled crews to design camera rigs that could withstand extreme conditions without losing clarity. The cast underwent rigorous training to prepare their bodies for the pressure of fast flight. Their expressions are not acted. They are real responses to real forces. Pilots instantly recognize the authenticity, the tension in the jaw, the tight grip, the small pauses taken to stay focused. Behind the scenes, filming required early mornings, careful scheduling, and full cooperation from experienced teams. The goal was simple: capture the truth of advanced flight. Not the pretty version, the real version. The result is a movie that feels alive. Every turn matters. Every second counts. Veteran flyers have said that Maverick captures the closest representation of advanced flight ever put on screen. It shows how sky challenges demand discipline, awareness, and courage. And it reminds viewers that the sky rewards precision, not ego. Top Gun Maverick is more than a sequel. It is a salute to real flight. So there you have it. 15 films that treated the sky with honesty instead of shortcuts and earned the respect of the people who know its challenges best. These stories remind us that the sky is beautiful, but never simple. If you enjoyed this list, share your favorite flight movie in the comments and tell us which one captured the feeling of real flight for you. Make sure to subscribe for more deep dives. The sky always has another story waiting.